jungle is. Welcome to the jungle.
Last year when we went, we were actually running the camp. We were teaching them sports every day. They were going through stations. It's kind of like very similar to people sending their kids to sports camps. This year, the kids had already gone through camp, so in the mornings, we would wake up when the sun came up, eat some breakfast, and do a lot of maintenance work on the campground. So we would, plant grass, plant some trees. We would help out with where the kids stay, the bunkhouses. We'd just do some different things on the campground. And then we would have lunch together, and once we had lunch, we would break off into different groups and go into different villages. We were there for 7 days, and I think we visited 6 villages. We'd throw on a backpack, and transportation there is mainly on dirt bikes. There's a lot of different villages spread out along the Amazon River around Iquitos, and we were really going to those villages and really spending time with kids. We would make the kids around us the #1 priority. And they may not ever have that again in their life, and they probably have never experienced that before either. And that was our main purpose, our main goal was to just show those kids that they are important and try to make them smile. Once you did that, you could get their attention. We had interpreters with us along the way, and we would start telling them rules of how to play football or how to play soccer, which they already know how to play soccer. They're really good.
We came and talked to these kids, these wonderful kids, having so much fun, teaching them football, hanging out with them, just loving on these guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like that God has put me in this position. He's given me this opportunity and the blessing to be able to play for 4 years. And I felt like that I had needed to give back. I needed to do something, but I learned so much more from them than I could have ever given them.
So in these villages, there is no air conditioning, there is no heat. They leave the bottom part of their houses open so the air can flow through and they'll get a breeze. Right there on that wall, you see mosquito netting. So at night, they wrap that around them, and if they're laying in a hammock, if they're laying in bed, they have cover from all the bugs and from mosquitoes especially. So very simple, very simple.
I remember walking into one village, and there were 2 kids standing at a well, and their job is to carry water from the well to their mom every day. I mean, these kids are 4 or 5 years old, and they're carrying water to their mom so that she can make rice, she can make milk for the entire village that day. They have to work all day, and they eat the same thing all the time. And to see them, and they think that they are tremendously blessed. They never complain, they're happy, but that's all they know. And for me, that's important. I feel like that we should be thankful. We should be understanding of how blessed we are. And so it was an enjoyable trip for me. We always have the mentality that we're going over there to give back, but for me, what I learned from them has given me so much more than what I could ever give them. When I got back over here, I did my best to remember what I learned over in Peru, remember how the kids were, remember how they acted. Because they were so thankful for everything. And for me, that was important, because sometimes I can get caught up in this idea of thinking that, I don't have that much, I'm in a hurry, I'm in a rush, I complain about things. They'll never be able to wake up in the morning, put on clean clothes, hop in their truck, and go to school. And that's what I do every day. And so it really put a lot of things in perspective for me.
We're at the Balad base in Iraq, and at probably about 104 degrees, Kevin, and about to get hotter for the day, I think. Yes, and Kevin is here, and he's from Austin, Texas. So we just wanted to ask Kevin a few questions. How long have you been here, Kevin?
1 month, sir.
1 month. And what do you do on the base?
I work over in with the security forces, sir.
Well, that's fantastic. And do you miss Austin, Texas?
Yes, I do.
Well, you make sure you take care of yourself, you be safe, and you get home soon.
Yes, sir.
We were all kind of wondering why we went on the trip. Sally and I felt like that with the recession, with all of our problems with housing, unemployment in America, that we really weren't giving a lot of attention to our military. So maybe going on this trip, number one, you say thank you, but number two, we can come back home. And we were talking about, would we go again? Was this a smart thing to do? You've got some danger, you're exhausted, you're in a cargo plane, you're freezing, you're getting malaria pills. What are we doing here? And at the same time, everybody came back to, when you see the faces of the troops, whether it's male, it's female, whether it's 50 years old or 19 years old, it's worth it. And that's what we came for. We didn't come for the experience. We didn't come for the countries. We didn't come for whether the trip was hard or easy. We came because we wanted to see those faces and say thank you for what you're doing. The first time that I realized that we were talking about war and reality checked in is when we're getting on the plane in Turkey and we're flying to Balad, and they handed us basically military flak jackets that are bulletproof. They're 45 pounds, and put them on us. And then we put military army helmets that were bulletproof, that are really heavy, on our heads to fly into the war zone. So to be told that you're going to be in a plane that could be shot at, and that we're going to have to take a landing and dive straight down so the radar can't get us, so they can't pick us up. So then all that happens, and you take the 45 pounds off. It's 110 degrees, you're sweating, and then we go in to see the general that's in charge of the base. And the first thing he tells us is we used to have 90 incoming missiles a month, and the good news is we've cut those to 7 a month, and we had one about 3 days ago. So we were actually in the position where you felt the pressures of war all around you. Other than Balad and the first feeling of war, the second thing outside of meeting the people was pulling up to Saddam's palace. It was just amazing. It was an amazing moment for history for me to go back and relive the Desert Storm. And I remember sitting on the back porch of the palace overlooking the lake. It was very serene, it was very pretty, and it was very quiet and nice. And then about 5:30, helicopters were buzzing across the base in twos as they were coming back from their missions. And you felt war all around you once again. The other thing that touched my heart about Balad, it's the hospital where they take you off of the front lines. It's the first stop before you get to go to Ramstein. If they can get you safe to that hospital, they've got a 98% success rate, which is phenomenal. Those surgeons, doctors, nurses, boy, they were good. They were tough. What they see every day. They brought a soldier in while we were there, and they bring him in on a helicopter. They put him on a stretcher, and there's like a covered area that would be like a big tent that has an American flag draped on the inside of it. It's called the Highway of Heroes. So they get out of the helicopter and they're on their back, so they're looking up, and the first time they see the American flag on the Highway of Heroes assures them that they're safe. They're about to be taken care of. And then after you get inside and you make it and you do well, or they think you've done a good deed, like they allowed us to feel good about coming, they have a warrior wall. And everyone who does something special at that hospital gets to sign the warrior wall. So it was very emotional that the soldiers that make it, the airmen that make it, get to sign the warrior wall, and they ask us to do the same.